Nothing ever goes wrong when I stream. Okido, what's up? Nobody ever. Oh, somebody ever. Wobbly cam, shaky cam action. I'm gonna do some actual driving next week. Probably. So, that means some practice. Driving a totally not a BMW 325i on a track that's totally not Assen, that's totally not from the web somewhere. Obviously using Automobilista, where I've sort of recreated this track day BMW 325i that I'll be renting next week. And I just won't just be let loose. It's a 3-day thing with actual coaching by people who do know how to drive. So that might help. How often have I got the question, Niels, have you ever driven something in real life? And then my answer was no, which meant they had an excuse to like bash on all those physics, because I've never done it for real, so I don't know what I'm talking about. And I guess we'll see if they get proven right. Possibly. So that's a 3-day course. At the end, I think there's even an exam for like a racing license that I'm not really planning to use. I don't care too much for the racing against others, although it will be part of it. I think there's some racecraft in the course as well. I just want to have a taste for what it is to drive a real car on a real racetrack. And one of our customers actually does, like for the pedals, is one of the instructors, and I asked him, well, what is a good way to sort of get a feel for some actual real life track use, and he suggested doing this. So without thinking, I typically overthink everything, but I just got my bank account ready. It's a business expense. It's true. And legit too. I mean, it's not like it makes sense. So 3 days of driving, some racecraft, some car control, and then an exam in what is not really a super fast race car at all. Of course, it's a 90s BMW E36 325i. You're looking at 190 horsepower maybe. Bit of torque. Yeah, it's got some of that too. It's got a roll cage and it's got some bits taken out, so it's not super light, but it's also not super heavy. Probably an open diff. Street tires, I believe. So yes, it's certainly not like a super racy car, but compared to my Ford Fiesta, it'll be plenty quick enough and hopefully not intimidating to learn what it feels like in real life. And I've been so curious about this for forever, really. How does the sim stand up to reality? But the problem is, if you just do like one event, there are some events at various tracks where you can drive a multitude of cars for a few laps, and that's probably a lot of fun, but you really cannot judge it because in 15 minutes you've not even come close to any sort of limit or get over the initial excitement. So how are you able to relate what you just felt in the race car back to the simulator? You can't really do that. And the good thing, I hope, I have absolutely no idea what will happen, but I hope that in 3 days in this car that isn't super intimidating, I might actually get a feel for it. I really don't know. I just have no idea. To actually hopefully get like a feel for it and how what I'm doing now in the sim stacks up, because I really don't know. And even if I get a good feel for it in the real car, there's a lot of stuff we don't know about the car, a lot of the specs we don't know, so it will not even be like an exact comparison, because this is just a sort of a thrown together physics model that seems to behave reasonably like this car might, but it might turn out to be way different. I don't know. Enough power in second gear with these 3 tires to get some inside wheel spin out of the hairpin. And one of the ways you can see this is not like a super racy car is it's got the default steering rack. That's one of the things I'm trying to simulate here. There are some onboard videos of people renting these cars, and they need pretty much 90 degrees lock everywhere. And the BMW of this era, they had a progressive steering rack, so off center it's not very sensitive. It is not very sensitive compared to modern cars at all, but even less so off center. And in sim racing, of course, lots of cars have very responsive steering, and you never really use more than 90 degrees, and here you have to use 90 degrees everywhere. And I've also installed a big rim just to get hopefully like a feel for the amount of lock and the rotation of the big wheel. And we have to see if it even helps, but I think it might, because I've never used a large wheel like this seriously before. Only briefly my wooden Moto Lita huge historic wheel, but it really feels different. It's weird. I found that too with the GT3 car I drove a week or two ago, with a proper like flappy pedal modern shaped wheel. Somehow it's psychological for a large part. The proper size and era of steering wheel matters to sim racing. Now, psychological, yeah, but also the size of the wheel does make a difference. If this was a tiny wheel, like a go-kart wheel, it would feel weird, and now it's sort of proper. So hopefully the steering lock will be quite accurate. The gearing is also probably reasonably accurate. Just a default gearbox, so those ratios are known and easy to put in the sim. So I can get an idea of gears and steering lock, and a little bit about hopefully the performance as well. And since one of the instructors is actually a customer of Heusikveld Engineering, he does some sim work as well. Who knows, perhaps we'll check out the sim a bit more and try to make it better with this BMW model. So it's going to be super interesting. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope the weather is dry at least. In this sense, Holland is a lot like Britain. Mostly not dry. Actually, it's not that bad, but we tend to make fun of our weather. And one of the many things I'm looking forward to, this car feels so sedate and slow in a sim. Because relatively to like a racing car it is, but it's not a really slow car in real life, obviously. 190 horsepower with 1300 kilos. It's not super quick, but it's not super slow. But having driven like Formula Ultimate cars in Automobilista, where everything like happens at warp speed, this feels so slow. There is so much time. I wonder how that feels in reality, of course, when your actual ass is going 170 kilometers an hour. And you have this rental car that you might not trust. I don't know how well put together they are. I'm trying to keep my head a little steady. The shaky cam is can be overdone. Yes, that's apex avoidance lesson there. I'm just sort of randomly driving around now. Sorry. Let me have a quick look and see if if the stream is still working. Doesn't really matter if the stream is working or not, because with 4 of you there, it's not really gonna make a difference. And if there's any flickering, I got some weird flick. Where? Hello? Where? Yeah. Ooh, people are watching. Hey guys. Okay, no, nothing seems to be completely broken. That's good. I'll get back to the old sim. 29 tuning in. Once again, beating Jimmy Broadbent at his own game. And always that HUD is gone for some reason. Oh, too much luck for one hand. Probably no heel and towing. So just like that, real slow. Gonna avoid the curbs a little bit and try to be smooth and slow. This will be interesting. How much do you like brake into the turns, or will it rotate too much or not at all? Will it just plow on straight on? I don't know. Can I not get oversteer here once? Yes. trying to do a couple of really smooth laps now. I'm trying not to do that sim racing thing where I'm overdriving it all the time. The car is, the way I've made it now, and that will be interesting, quite stable and relatively slow and a bit understeery. And that will really depend on how it is set up, because you can install some anti-roll bars and have quite an oversteery car, or quite an understeery one. So it's fitted with street tires, so we're not going to really exceed 1G of grip. No carbon ceramic brakes, I don't think. Not going to take the curbs. Oh yeah. And I'm going to shift slowly, brake early. Using all that steering lock that is needed. The line here is going to be interesting. I have no idea what a good line there is. Top speed, we're doing like 165 here, so 100 miles an hour. This is one of those places where once you get a good exit and you get a good speed for that turn, you might have to use fourth. And one of the things I've never really done is, not only this steering rack is super slow, it also has I think even more than 1080 degrees of lock, and I'm quite comfortable in the sim with 900 degrees throwing cars at ridiculous angles. With a slow steering rack and a lot more rotation, that is quite difficult. So I'm not really planning to try and go super sideways or anything, but you'll be curious. I'm probably going to make lots of mistakes and get into some moments. If the sim experience does anything in like controlling and feeling the oversteer coming, it's not really going to happen, I don't think. Well, I'm not sure, of course. With everything, I'm not sure. We'll see. That's the fun part. And just going on the power in third gear, you're not gonna suddenly break the back loose. But on liftoff and entry, the way it's set up now, yeah, you can get it loose a little bit. Too early. So if you, yeah, it can go just a little bit. Here, just flat out, you cannot really. I've seen some really understeery videos of these cars, but then they were fitted with slicks or semi-slicks. And I don't think they'll set them up, those rental racing cars, to turn themselves around at the first hint of liftoff. And it's a 3-day thing, so we'll start plenty slowly and just really get a feel for it. Let's see what it happens if we tuck in a bit. So much lock, like 180 degrees. Only time I've used that much lock is on the Formula truck cars in Automobilista, which sort of naturally, because of all the physics going on there, need a lot more steering lock. See, you can sort of, yeah. Kinda like if you complete hooligan, it moves around, and that will be interesting. I will probably accidentally make that happen. And how will it compare at the limit? And that's what I hope to take away, just outside of having fun and learning. It's just hopefully get a feel for the car and how it compares to sim racing. But I'm not really counting on anything. I'm just going to enjoy those days, and hopefully anyway, and probably return home even more confused about car physics than I was before the whole event, and quite a bit more poor as well, because even though it's just a slowish rental BMW, it's not cheap to rent this for a few days, so this won't be a monthly thing, I don't think. No anti-lock brakes I'm expecting anyway. Power steering, I'm not even sure if they use it or not. Not really needed with a slow rack like it has and street tires. I'm pretty sure even my wimpy arms can hold the steering wheel for a while. The brakes will be interesting. Servo assisted or not sure. Probably, I think, stock. So all that load cell experience, I've calibrated them really softly, so I'm not pressing very hard. And it's very easy to lock up. Like that. That's what you want to avoid, really. Trying to be like calm and smooth and not like my usual self. This is gonna be like the only, well, on paper, the only like really daring corner, because you arrive at close to 180 kilometers an hour if the physics are actually somewhat correct. So like 110, 150 miles an hour. And a bit of brake, bit of lift, possibly, but even though it's only over 100 miles an hour, which we're so used to in a sim, I'm quite sure that won't feel very like chilled and relaxed the first time you arrive there. So we'll see how that feels. Going to speed it up just a little bit. Yes, just about managed to balance it. No idea what the car will be balanced like, of course. I think the key will be that it doesn't really steer on the throttle, to make sure you brake enough and then relatively straight line the exits, then get on the power very early. So yeah, no heel and towing, most likely anyway. Oh, late. If you're a bit too late like I was there, you can run the risk of getting understeer here. There's no 800 horsepower to correct mistakes, so that smoothness will be important. I really wonder how well the car brakes into the turns, if that helps. Or if it just turns you around. So I lift, it doesn't really respond all that well. And that's something I don't want to do. Going nearly off the track at 100 miles an hour, we're going to want to avoid that. Here you can use the curbs just fine, I think. I wonder how many misshifts I will have. Bit of understeer. And I'm gonna do something that's really not allowed. Ow, ow, ow. Oh, I can't touch this. Dude, oh, can't, no. See, I was attempting to text and drive. Oh yeah, I cannot reach. It's there. It's there, yeah. Ooh. Got a text on my brilliant phone, just in case the content isn't appropriate. I'll la. Ah, alright, the missus. Yeah. She's coming home, so I'm gonna have to look at dinner. There's a big stew going downstairs with like this big as meat thingy that's slowly simmering for a few hours. Lots of onions and some spiciness, tomatoes, garlic. It's gonna be good. So braking gently into the stern. Waiting a little bit, getting some sort of double-ish apex. This is such a weird, sharp hairpin turn. Open diff, so the inside wheel spin is real there. So again, I think if I sacrifice a bit more speed going in, I get this exit going a lot better. In real life there is some banking in those corners that help you out a little bit. Being such an advanced race car, it won't have Motec telemetry with a million channels that we can compare to the sim. It might have like 4 gauges if they're still working. It's going to be very Spartan, really. A bit later, since the understeer will push me wide there. So yeah, I'll do a lot more driving in the sim because it's fun, and perhaps it'll be a training tool. Wide and then cut back in or stick to the inside, we'll really have to see. Definitely a better exit there because I sacrificed it on the way in. It's too early. Could have gone on the throttle earlier if my entry was better. So one more lap after this, then I have to go check my meat. Poke my meat probably. Taste my meat even. Oh, what? Oh, miss my meat. Oh, yeah. I don't know if they have like GoPros mounted to the cars. I'm not gonna actively film or do anything. It's really gonna be just concentrating on those days. And hopefully the sim will be useful. It's the whole point of it. Well, being a lot of fun is the main point, but hopefully I will have a little bit of a benefit from having practiced, even though I won't be doing these speeds and lap times. It might still be very interesting. So that's the fuel save coast, the magic pass that they told me doesn't exist in real life. There's no P button. Curious to see that. It will likely rain. Yes, it probably. Well, a bit of a short stream. Normally I spend forever. Let's see if anybody asked something. Somebody's enjoying the shaky head cam. Those who didn't even bother showing up. Yeah, I'm just reading. Some Ryza stuff. I've not been involved with the RF2 stuff. There may or may not still be something for AMS, but not super actively involved. Yeah, it does feel very, very slow in the sim, and that's something in real life will probably be quite different. Wait, why don't I just bring this over to the main screen so I don't twist my neck? So I'm not really planning on videoing. If there is a GoPro in the car, I'll probably get the footage. I'm not sure if there is. I'm not really bringing any cameras or anything. I want to focus just on, there's enough to deal with there than doing a YouTube thing. Yeah, Aris from Assetto Corsa, he drove something, but he's got like lots of track experience even for many years now, so he's got that experience going that I haven't. So yeah, that's some of the questions answered. Just a quick stream. I'm gonna check on the meat that's simmering away downstairs, and I'll do lots of practice like this. Probably not stream it all the time, but ooh, there's my Far Cry icon. Yes, Far Cry 1, the best game ever. Okay, guys, I'll probably talk about the stuff that I'm gonna do in real life. May or may not have a video about it. I don't know. Thanks for this anyway. A short insight in slow cars on a racetrack, hopefully preparing me a little bit. See you later. Have a nice evening, a good weekend, and chill out and have fun and stuff like that. Bye bye.